saying we used to be hot, but we used to be that team. Like when we stepped up in a place, like literally people stopped and took pictures. Like, oh, okay, Mike Fiend in the building. So to go from that, and then for whatever reason, like I said, I don't even want to get into what happened, that it didn't happen. It fell apart. So, like, what's the motivation for you to keep going, and not just keep going, but put out a quality record like Passport Living?
Yeah, you know, man, Sky, like, it was a lot of transition that happened because I'm originally from Columbia, South Carolina. Anybody that don't know, you know what I'm saying? And
okay.
I landed in VA 2003, man. And, you know, so it started off with me and my manager, G. We got together, you know, and for a minute it was just us two on the road. I mean, traveling everywhere from New York, Atlanta, you know, D.C. And as we started to kind of come along, you know, we brought other people on, and Mike Fiend was created, you know what I'm saying? But it was tough because being in the VA market, I wasn't born there. So me trying to make music and become known there was tough. So I hit every open mic. I hit every, you know, I would run into to dudes in the studio, and they would overhear music. And then, you know, my manager was just really good at networking at the time. And, you know, we made strategic moves, man. So for when it didn't work out, you know, it really kind of left me in a position like, oh, man, like, because I was just focused on music. Everybody had jobs. Everybody had their own direction and what they brought to the table. And it made me kind of take for granted what a lot of these artists have to do when they have to wear all of the hats. You know, they have to handle their promo. They have to handle their, you know, their distribution. And me, I was fortunate. I didn't have to do none of that. All I had to do was worry about making the best music I possibly could. And so, you know, when it didn't go through, you know, life kind of got in the way, and I just really, really couldn't sleep, man. I was like, yo, I got a lot of music. I had a hard drive of maybe 50, 60 beats that, you know, was sent to me from industry producers to dudes on the come up, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, yo, man, do I really want to look back at 45, 50 and ask myself why I never put out this music, you know? And I just started to kind of do a memory scan and everything that I was able to accomplish that maybe some people didn't get a chance to do, you know, open up for, you know, the KRS-One and MC Lights.
Don't go there. Don't go there. Wait, hold up for a second. You know, I want to ask those questions so you can talk about those things. So don't itemize them just in that conversation. So let's just stop there. Like you were able to do a lot of things that a lot of artists couldn't do. So speaking of one of those things, the one thing I was so impressed with you was is this thing on? I think was the name of the song, or whatever.
Yes.
With Premier, and I think Premier, and not only produced it, but you guys actually went to the studio and was in the studio with him. So talk about that experience, bro.
Yo, it was crazy. And actually, you know, Premier, he didn't produce it. Cocaine produced it, man. Yeah.
Oh,
so, you know,
my fault.
Yeah. No, it's all good. You know, I was actually overseas, man. I was, you know what I'm saying, doing a military thing, and I was overseas in Afghanistan, and then we were just pretty much strategic, you know, strategizing on how we wanted to, you know, hit the ground running when I came back home. So, you know, all of the bread I made out over there and everything was just like, yo, we putting all of this, and we, you know, so anyway, he produced that joint. I was like, yo, I need somebody big on this. And my man, you know, Rush, that's on Passport Living, you know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, I think I got a Joe Budden plug. And I'm like, yo, stop playing, man. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, give me a week, I'm going to get back with you. Gets back with me, sets it up like, yo, Joey and them, they ready to go. You got the bread? I said, not a problem. Let's do it. So as soon as I got back, maybe a week after, me, Coke, and Rush drive up to NY and hop in the stew. Little did we know that was DJ Premier's studio. We didn't even know that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
we in there recording, man, Joey loves the record. It wasn't one of them situations the way it was like, yeah, it's just a money grab. He was like, yo, I really rock with this joint. And as we were getting ready to leave, DJ Premier walked in, was like, yo, man. And, we just happened to catch it all on camera, and showed us love, man. And it's just one of them situations to where being in the right place at the right time, you never know what you're going to run into, man. And it's definitely one of the most memorable moments of my, music career so far.
Shit, it was one of the most memorable moments of my career, man. I was so smiling, like watching you and Coke. I don't really know Rush like that, but you know what I'm saying. Just watching my brothers, like Polly, man, and like Joey, like socializing with y'all and giving y'all good energy and all of that, man. It was a real big moment, and I wanted to make sure I shared it as many times as I could. Because I ain't one of those people that's like, oh, I wasn't involved, so whatever. Like he probably rapped that verse, 5 years ago. He just don't know yet.
Yeah, for sure. No, man. I remember the love too, Scott. Yeah, for real, man. It wasn't one of those situations to where we was trying to, look at us type of thing. It was. I remember the time vividly because it was one of those situations to where people was actually anticipating music from me, and I hadn't been in that position before. I would always have to kind of drop music, and then somebody would catch wind of it like, oh, yeah, I heard of that, you know what I'm saying? Well, this time, you know what I'm saying, it was more like, yo, Thadd, when the tape dropping, when the tape dropping. So it was a dope time, man, and a time that I definitely want to get back to for real.
Okay. Definitely. And you well on your way, man. Just doing songs with people we don't really even know. So speaking of that, let's talk about Passport Living, man. Incredible record, well put together, start to finish. Like, how did that come together? Whose idea? Like, how did it come together?
Yeah, so my man Problem, based out of Virginia Beach, he had been working with some industry artists. He had been working with, local artists, your Ambassador Ricks, your Dow Gotchas, Grunge Gelato. Shout out to them boys, man. They doing their thing right now. And I got word of them because when I put out Blue Collar Code, which was my project at the time, it was a very soulful project, you know what I'm saying? And somebody was like, yo, I got somebody that I think you need to work with. And everybody knew Justice League at the time. I think Maybach Music, we had did the Virginia version of that. So like Justice League sound was really, really big to me, you know what I'm saying? And they was like, yo, I got somebody who could rival that. And they introduced me to my man Problem, and he was like, yo, I'm going to send you a care package free of charge. And I'm like, what? I'm like, yo, these joints should be going for a few grand, man. You know what I'm saying? These joints hit. So he sent me the joint, and I wrote to it, and I came up with the concept. I wrote the hook, Passport Living. And before I let anybody else hear it, I let my man Rush hear it. And he was like, yo, of course, he threw his name in the hat like, yo, I got to get on it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, I'm a loyal dude, man. And he looked out on the Joey joint. I was like, yo, not a problem. So we got that. And then the opportunity, he had a young lady who was ready to go ahead and sing on the hook. And my mans who was with Mike Fiend before Five Star P was like, yo, he was down in Atlanta at the time, and he was saying like, yo, I got a plug on T.J. Moses. I was like, yo, you got to be kidding me, right? So he was like, yo, give me a few days. Let me get back with you. He was like, send me the joint, send me the reference track. Next thing you know, we work out the particulars, work out the finances. She gets the joint knocked out, sends it back. I mean, it sounds beautiful. I'm just like, wow, we got one. So that's how Passport Living came about, man. And it was dope because, her team, the Black Moses team, everybody was kind of really excited about it. It was like, yo, man, she didn't do a lot of work with a lot of indie artists at the time, but she really rocked with me and this record, and so I appreciate her, just lending her talents to the joint, man, and to this day, man, it's probably one of my top 5 favorite records for myself.
Yeah, you've had some dope records and some dope records with some chicks too, man. So that's saying an awful lot, man.
For sure.
Now you off and running. You got this record, everybody that's peeping it, liking it, you getting interview requests and things like that. I know that firsthand.
Yes,
so
sir. For sure.
People feeling it, man. So how do you make sure that things stay consistent and you don't get to a point where it's like, man, I thought this record was going to be bigger than this, and the job about to give me a raise, I might as well fall back.
Yeah. Again, to me, it's just a void that was, it was a void that was missing, and making money. Will it? Yeah, sure. You know what I'm saying? Making money is we all want to make money. We all want to be able to be comfortable and support those that depend on us and those that we love. But I just know that feeling, the feeling when you walking out of the studio and then you got one. You know what I'm saying? And the feeling when I send something off and I hit Sky and I say, yo, bro, I got one coming your way. And the response, that you get, I used to tell people all the time. I mean, I understand, rap now, everybody is doing it, and it's the biggest genre in the world. You know what I'm saying? But it's still an art form, and it still takes talented individuals to do it at a high level. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that I've worked tirelessly on since I've been 12. You know what I mean? My cousin used to take me around the neighborhoods battling. You know what I'm saying? Like these are things that actually happen. Being a youngin'. So I've worked, years and years and years to perfect and hone the craft. And is money gonna replace that? Nah. Will a great job? Yes, that's essential. But that can work in unison, in tandem with helping me to get where I need to be with my music. You know what I mean?
Indeed, man. One, I guess, final question. Do you think that if the streaming would have been out around, I think it was like 2009 when we ran into each other, somewhere 8, 9, or whatever, right? So let's just say the streaming was around then, because I think like what that allows people to do is to have careers where they have to be less physically present. It saves money on manufacturing. Now you don't have to get CDs, cases, and things like that. So if you think that we were like 10 years ahead of the game in regards to streaming, would that have changed how a lot of people looked at it. And I guess